This is Christy Warnick with Energetic Alchemy. I am here to help you with transforming your life for the better, helping you to really be free of that any kind of suffering, struggle that you're going through. And so today we're going to take a live caller, and I'm very excited because last week I had Marla on, and she messaged me after the show. She messaged me the next day and let me know that she was feeling great, very energetic. She was feeling so much better. And so that really did help her. And also had many other people message me, which I am so grateful for, but they said that it helped them so much. So I've been getting messages from each of my shows. And if you comment on the video, if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, any of the Facebook pages, if you're commenting, I'll go back and look at those comments. I can't see them right now, but I do go back and look at them. So be sure to comment so I can go back and look at them, and I'll respond. Or definitely, I would like to thank you, for any feedback that you have, for any experiences that that you go through with the shows. So that is always just something I'm very grateful to receive, any kind of messages about any way that this helps you, because that's the whole purpose of this for me. So thank you all so much. I also have a new program that I introduced this past week. It's about being a better balanced you. So would you like to be a better balanced you? I have started a new program. It involves light wave technique with balancing, and it's a weekly program. So you get to choose how many weeks you want to do it. You get to choose when you want to do it and for how long. And so there's different rates if you want to do weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. There's all different kind of definitely specials going on with that. So definitely check that out. It's on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Christy Warnick and the number 1. So Christy Warnick 1 on Facebook. And also you can check out my website at christywarnick.com. So, like I said, every show, we start off with a clearing, right? So let's just do a clearing overall for everyone, and this will be for the caller, whoever that is that comes on today. So I just want to take a deep breath, everyone. All right, and so we're just going to clear out the mind, body, soul, and spirit, all levels, all layers, all bodies, inside and out, all around, including the sleep realms. Just making sure those are cleared of any and all energies that are unwanted, unneeded, or unwelcome that can be removed at this time. We're just going to clear those out. This is for everyone live here, watching, listening, or on the replay as well. So be sure to share this out, because the replays will be available tomorrow. Share it out to your friends and family. It's going to be beneficial for everyone, even whoever I work with. It's always beneficial for everyone. So you receive what's best for you as well. Okay, so all right, so we're doing that clearing, and that's just clearing out. And like I said, if you just take some deep breaths. And I have Lee here from Canada, so I'm ready for her call. Hello.
Hi, Christy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm surviving. How are you?
I'm doing well. So you made it on the show. That's great.
Of course. I wouldn't pass up the opportunity.
Yeah. So what do you have going on today, Lee?
Lately, I think the biggest things is I'm not sleeping, and nightmares like you would not believe.
Okay.
There's a lot going on, but I think that's my number one thing right now.
Yeah, I sense a lot going on around you. Okay, so, all right, so let's see how healthy and happy your relationship is with sleep. Most people don't think of it like that, or think to ask that question. So But with sleep, if you have a healthy, happy relationship with sleep, you're obviously going to sleep better, because you're going to feel safe and you're going to feel secure and you're just going to be able to allow yourself to sleep better. So let's see what's going on that is in any way interfering with your sleep. So how healthy is your sleep and your sleep patterns at this time? And really, I just want to check that overall, how healthy is your relationship with sleep? So that is out of 10, we'll just say a 0 to a 10. 10 being where you want to be. That's the best relationship you can have with sleep, okay? So let's just check in with that. And you are at as far as it being healthy, it's at a 2. 4 about a 4.6 out of 10. And as far as this happy relationship with sleep is about a little less than a 4. So yeah, so definitely there's something going on there. So let's see if we can get that up as high as we can in the next, I don't know, we have about less than 20 minutes here, about 15 to 20 minutes. So we'll work as much as we can on that. All right, so let's get to the root issue here, the underlying cause. I'm just going to ask that come up, that surface for us, and then that way all the other layers can just easily and effortlessly clear away. So we're going to start and go to that. I just keep, every time I say that, I think of, they always talk about an onion, and there's all these layers, and I'm always like, just chop open the onion and get to the center already, So, yeah, I don't even like onions myself. So I just, that metaphor is just always crazy for me. So I get a laugh out of it though, because it's funny. Okay, so let's get to the center of this for you. Okay, so, all right. So what is interfering with your sleep right now? Okay, is it a system? No. Subsystem? No. Is it some kind of imbalance? No. Okay, is it some kind of alignment or something that is not aligned? Yes. Okay, is that the priority? No. Okay, so let's get to the priority. There is some alignment there, so we'll go back to that. So what is the priority? Okay, organs. Okay, which one? It's more the gallbladder right now. Actually, the gallbladder is the priority. So really we're working with the gallbladder, but also we can include the digestive system as well overall, because you've got the gallbladder, you've got the liver, you've got, and then it just kind of goes down from there. So, all right. So, and I always encourage everyone, I am not a medical doctor and I do not claim to be, so be sure to, if you have any medical or health issues, be sure to see your doctor. And, if you feel called to energetic work, that's what I'm here for. So it helped me, and so that's why I'm here to help you. So, all right, so let's see what's going on with your gallbladder. All right, have you had any type of sensation on your right side below your rib cage or around that area?
A little swelling.
A little swelling. Okay. All right. So, so that means, definitely some inflammation there, maybe some blockage or something like that. But like I said, I don't diagnose. I just energetically check in. So, all right. So let's see. Is there something energetically that we can do to help with this today? Yes. Okay. So what is that? What is the priority to do with the gallbladder to get it the highest and most healthy and happy it can be at this time? Let's see. No? Okay, something to cancel. So let's see what that is. Oh, okay. Some past life stuff coming up, actually. So this must be coming up that to be cleared. So this is like a, right. It's in the category of like the curses and things like that. So like I said, it's from past lives. Let's see how many are involved that are affecting your, we'll just say your gallbladder, liver area, because both of those can affect your sleep a good bit. The times of those fall during the night, usually between, it depends on what time zone you're in, but usually between the, I don't know, 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock time. Is that around the times that you're having the most difficulty?
4 o'clock every morning,
Okay.
4 a.m. every morning.
Okay.
Well, sometimes
All right.
2.
Okay, yeah. So that falls right around that time. That's when your body's detoxing. It's during the night when you're sleeping. So that's kind of waking you up a little bit there because it's not fully functional, the way that it's in, and with that healthy energy flow. Let's just say that. So let's see if we can get that energy flowing a little bit better in there. All right, so cancel how many things? Ooh, about 10 things. Wow, okay. Do we need to know anything about these 10 things for them to be canceled? No, I'm getting actually a no. It's just stuff that's come up just to be cleared out. So I'm just going to ask that those and anyone else out there, this will work for you too. Anything that is non-beneficial for you that is affecting really any part, if you focus on a part of your body right now that is causing you an issue or a problem, or that's been kind of the word irritated or aggravated comes up, I guess you would say. So, or that is interfering with your day-to-day life, I guess. So if you think of something, and then you can just kind of focus on that, and this will actually, with your intention for yourself, it'll actually focus on that. So for Lee here, we're going to focus on her gallbladder and her liver area. So, all right, so we're just going to ask that those 10 things that are non-beneficial for you, that are obviously not serving you, and like I said, most of this is past life. And I'm not getting ancestral, so most of it's past life. Any other from this lifetime? No. There's some other timelines involved, and other timelines, but past lives was the priority. So, all right, so we're going to cancel out those 10 things that were showing up for you. So we're just going to cancel, remove, resolve, heal, and correct all of those things for you now, quickly, effortlessly, with speed, ease, and grace. Just take some deep breaths. And I'm just going to ask that I'm just going to cut any and all cords, ties, tethers, hooks, or strings that are no longer serving you. Ask that those be dissolved with love, the holes filled with love and light. And I'm just asking the highest source, whatever that is for anyone and everyone out there, that is where the assistance is coming from. Any and all of the highest light that there is that you believe in, that's who's coming in to help you. Okay. Just going to ask that anything connected to, attached to, or related to this, also any kind of components of these things, also be removed, resolved, and healed completely. So there may be some beliefs, there may be some programs, there may be some emotions, hidden emotions, any other kinds of emotions. We're just going to ask that those be cleared out as well. And that your gallbladder and that your liver is cleared and cleansed and healed as much as possible at this time. You can just let me know if you feel anything or anything you're experiencing. And I'll check in with you in just...
I actually feel a lot more comfortable in my body right now, and I am tingling like you wouldn't believe.
All right. That's the energy moving. That's totally cool. I'm just going to ask that you be fully grounded in every way, in the highest and best way for you. So we're just going to ground those energies too. We're just going to bring you fully back into your body. I'm going to ask that your spirit access portal It's in the back of it's like on the back of your neck. So we're just going to ask that that be opened and cleared so that your spirit can be fully in your body and that it's comfortable in your body. So we're just going to invite that in, letting it know that it is safe and that it is loved and welcome. Because when you're more fully in your body, your body heals much faster. So we're just going to invite that in. And I'm just going to do some downloads.
It's funny you say that because I've always had issues with grounding.
Okay. And also, I'm just going to ask that you receive any and all frequencies that are most beneficial to help with clearing out and cleansing any of these energies, energy blockages, or anything that's kind of stuck there. We're just going to ask that any and all frequencies to come in to assist with that are beneficial for you, that those are downloaded, integrated, and activated for you now. And also, any beliefs and programs that you can receive that are beneficial for you, that will help with healthy energy flow, just overall, and also easily and effortlessly, with ease and grace, releasing what no longer serves you, but that it is really eliminated from your body the best way possible for you. So the most comfortable way for you. So we're just going to ask that you receive any and all beliefs and programs that are in alignment with that will help with that in any way. Downloaded, integrated, activated, aligned, and balanced on all levels. I'm just going to ask that you receive any and all morphic fields, which are energetic blueprints. So I'm going to ask that those come in. And also, any and all morphic fields for a healthy, happy gallbladder and liver, and really for any and all of your organs, for them to be at optimal health and happiness. So I'm going to ask that those be downloaded, integrated, and activated, any that are most beneficial for you at this time. And any that will help you with, like I said, this releasing process, this detoxing process that'll make that the healthiest and most, like I said, the most comfortable process for you. And any programs that you have that has to do with that you have to like go through detoxification symptoms and things like that to clear or to heal, we're just going to remove those, because those are not serving you. And a lot of people think and have heard that other people have gone through things like this, so they take on those beliefs or programs that, you know, you have to go through this process in order to heal and to clear, which really you don't. It's really not necessary. So we're just going to ask that those be removed and resolved on all levels. So just take some more deep breaths. And I'm just going to go ahead and clear and align and balance your chakras. Okay. Also, we have an assemblage beam, assemblage point, which is right around the solar plexus area. So I'm just going to ask that that be corrected and aligned for you, because that's really going to help with your organs to all function more happily together. So I'm just going to ask that that be corrected and aligned. Like I said, this is for you and for everyone watching, everyone listening, everyone on the replay. I'm sending like an amber color for your liver, and a darker blue color for your digestive system. Infusing those colors to help with that. Balancing those. All right, so let's check and see how healthy you're. Okay, overall how healthy and happy that your gallbladder is at this time. Out of 100%, it is at a about 79%, but it was at a, before we connected today, it was at a, it was about a 47. So we're making progress.
I believe it. I'm feeling it.
Okay. Let me ask what is left, or of the 10 things that we originally tested for, how many of those are left? 2. Okay, so let's just clear out those last 2. Cancel, dissolve, remove, resolve, heal those completely now. We're really cleaning out any and all levels and layers of any kind of emotions that are kind of stuck in there. We're just going to clear those out. And as this is clearing out, I'm just going to ask that everyone receive into every part of their body, into every cell of their body. And this is inside and out and all around the mind, body, soul, spirit, all levels, all layers, all bodies. And like I said, into every cell of your body, unconditional love and light from that highest source. And I'm just going to run the, ask that the violet flame just kind of run and circle up and spiral up through you and out and all around you, and then that'll eventually transform and transmute into that brightest, either a white light, silver light. Some people see a golden light, so it's just whatever color you want to give it. I always just say white light. So we're going to just transmute as much of that as possible as well. Just ask for that assistance to really get in there and clear everything out. Like I said, everything gets replaced with what is highest and best for you. Okay. So it trues that all 10 of those things have been fully resolved at this time. God's truth that it is. Almost. So we got a part of one thing left, and that is, has it been canceled? Yes. Okay. Has it, is there something left to do with it? What is that? No. Programs? Yes. Okay. Any emotions? Yes. Anything else? No. Okay. So there's some programs and emotions left. So we're just going to ask that those be removed, resolved, and healed and cleared. Like I said, always bringing in what's most beneficial for you to replace it. And I'm just going to download you with any and all nutritional frequencies as well that are most beneficial for you, for your gallbladder, for your liver, for the digestive system, any and all to help with any and all sleep patterns, any and all of those to be downloaded, integrated, and activated now. Any codes, any symbols, any other morphic fields that are beneficial to help with any and all of those. Bringing those in, asking that all of those that serve you in the highest and best way, that those really be anchored in. Okay. We've got just a few minutes left here, so let me see. What percentage healthy and happy is your gallbladder at this time? About 94%. Okay, we're getting there. Getting there. So let's see overall how healthy now is your relationship with sleep out of a 10, from a 0 to a 10. That is at a 3 point, about 8.8. That's much better. We're almost double where we were.
Can't wait to sleep tonight.
All right. And also on the homepage of my website, ChristyWarnick.com, there are frequency numbers, and it gives you instructions on how to use those. So those are just fun to play around with. So anyone and everyone can go there to the homepage of my website and look at those. It's below the show information, and it's so it's right below that. And so if you scroll down on the homepage, you'll find this. It's a whole list of just beneficial frequency numbers that I just put on there. And there are obviously so many frequency numbers, so I just picked some that would be most beneficial. So I'm just going to wrap this up for you today, Leah, and I'm just going to surround you, just kind of cocoon you in energies to hold these in so that all this can settle in. And I'm going to surround you in a blue-green light. It's very calming and very healing. Okay, so how do you feel now?
I feel amazing, honestly. My stomach has gone down half the size since when we started.
That is wonderful. Can you message me later and let me know how you're doing? Because I've got to go now, but I want to know how you're doing, and I can post and let people know an update on that, okay?
I will for sure. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and just let me know how that's going, and just tune in every Wednesday, same time, same place, right here, okay?
I'll be here.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I hope that was helpful for you. Be sure to message me if that was helpful so I can share out some of the comments that and just let people know how you're doing, okay? This is Christy Warnick, Energetic Alchemy, and I look forward to seeing you every Wednesday, same time, same place. And thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for all the messages and for sharing this out. I am so grateful for that.
Hi, I'm Mark. Thanks for watching Moonstruck. And now, back to A1R On the Air Psychic Talk Radio Now on Moonstruck TV. Enlightening television.
Hi, everybody. Tanya here, Australia's Psychic Cowgirl from Australia, connecting with you all over the world at all different time slots. Time slots that I can't remember from everywhere, but anyway, you'll know what time it is in your area, so I'll leave it at that. Just wanted to have a quick chat to you this morning prior to doing the reads about a few things that I've found with energetically over the last week with people inquiring about readings or coming in to actually get readings, and the little bit uncertainty that's around at the moment with some people. And I was just drawn to mention something that I found really helped me when you're going through a time of a bit of crisis or uncertainty and just feeling really out of sorts. It's a little tool that I felt I really wanted to share with you today to say when you are going through a hard time and you're really struggling, sometimes we have to focus on what we can control. So there's a lot of outward things that we can't control, and that's often, relates to work, relationships, money, where we're living, can be any element within our lives. And we tend to focus on it and become really scattered with what we're thinking and not being able to make clear decisions. So what I wanted to share today is that we need to look at what we can control. So it's a little bit about, rather than focusing on the problem, we can focus about on things that actually give us, how can you put it, more strength and more of the ability to work through these hard times. So when we focus on ourselves, that's doing things like self-love, that's nurturing ourselves, that's looking after ourselves. And, our body is our vessel, so that's what we travel in. We want to be able to look after that. And the healthier and the better we feel within, the more we can deal with, the ups and downs of life. Because as we know, that's part of life. It never goes smooth. There's always ups and downs, but it is how we look at it. And I say if we can control that, and if we can control what we're capable of controlling, and that is looking after number one. And when you start to look after number one, you're telling the universe that you're ready to face the challenges and you're ready to bring to you what is needed. So, and just a little hint I wanted to share today, and it goes back to the old saying, grant me, I'm writing this down because I can't remember it, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and the courage to change the things I can, and then also the wisdom to know the difference. So I just wanted to share that today. All right, my first caller is Elizabeth from Arizona. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hello.
How are you today?
I am wonderful. Excited to be here.
Fantastic. Great to connect for you today. Wow. So would you like me to go through what I've picked up already for you?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Initially, what I picked up is that there's a focus around making decisions for you and with moving forward. So there's a few changes that have come up, and it's like you need to step out of your comfort zone to step into the changes that are coming through for you. And I had the feeling when I was connecting a little bit like you're feeling a bit like you're stuck or a little bit stagnant. And it's like, intuitively you're ready to step out of that, but there's that little bit of a uncertainty on how you're going to actually go about doing that. I also felt that there was a link there to career or what you were doing, and it was almost like I just got the sign for you to take the first step on what you want to do and where you want to be, and then the universe will bring to you, exactly what it is that opportunity, I suppose I would say, to you, and stepping up so that you can make those changes, because I feel like you've been building up to this for a little while. And also on top of that was picking up, getting outside more and tapping into your creative side. So it's like whether you're not tapping into your creative side or it's something you've just put aside and not doing right at the moment, but it's like I really felt drawn to have to tell you that.
Thank you.
So does that relate with the career information?
It does. I actually have recently, I'm going to school and I'm going for my bachelor's in business or business administration, and just recently made the random decision to do human resources. So I was undecided, and I shifted that to going for human resources.
Fantastic. Because it's like there's, it's almost like making that decision now is going to present you with opportunities.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and I feel like with that, because obviously with studying, with this field that you've gone into, there'll be opportunities for working. So like whether somebody's going to step up with a part-time position that will be in that field, so you will be able to not only study but have that experience as well.
Yeah.
So, but that's just a case of you stepping up and saying, putting it out there to the right resources, obviously, and people to say this is where I'm going to step into, and I would like the opportunity to work in that area, because it's like there's something there waiting for you, and if you haven't come across it yet, I'm sensing that it's not far away.
That's beautiful. That's wonderful. I'm actually excited to be in that position now that I really made that final decision and I make the move. So I feel that I even can feel the shifting myself with this change that I've done, because I was stuck for such a long time.
Fantastic. And it's so wonderful that you have come to that decision, and and it's like intuitively that this is where you want to be, but you had to take that step, and it's like I want to say well done on actually taking that step rather than sitting in doubt and sort of having that realisation that the other one wasn't quite the right fit for you.
You are absolutely right. Yeah.
Yep. And you have a lot of spirit around you. So it's like I have to say that your loved ones in spirit want to let you know that they are around you to support you at this time.
Oh, I I feel them all the time. It's like I get these chills all over my body. As close as they get, I can feel them, and I can actually feel them right now.
That is so awesome. And it's like with that, and I want to say, because they're showing me, ask them, like when they step in, if you don't already know who it is, it's like they have the certain spots, exactly like you're saying, where you know they're stepping in. But it's like if you say, right, is that you? Can I ask if your mother's passed? Because I feel like there's a lady stepping forward for you.
It's actually my grandmother. She raised me as her mother. You know, she was my mother. She raised me as a daughter, I guess. Yeah.
I actually wrote down here because this lady came through prior, and I'm like, mother. She was like mother, but she said, I'm not the mother, but I'm the mother figure. And I was like, is this a stepmom or, you know, somebody else stepping in? So obviously that's her. And it's like, I feel like she's left side. So because you're sensing them coming in, if you ask her and say, show me which side you're on, you'll get to know exactly who's where and who's stepping in for you. Because there's a few up there stepping in for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all I can tell you is that I really don't know who it is, what spirit it is or what ancestor it is, but I can definitely feel the energy. It's like a whirlpool. I feel the energy right all around me.
Yeah, and she's beautiful. She's a very strong lady, so it's like she steps in when you need her, and it's almost like, you know, when you're going through things or you're feeling a bit stuck, don't forget to call her in and just say, okay, give me a sign you're around. And as soon as you open up that communication with spirit and you ask for help, they step in and they'll make sure they help you. So you always know you're divinely guided. And that was a really strong message I got for you, is to know there is a lot of spiritual energy around you, and they want to step in and help. So when you become aware of that, opportunities come up. And even with this job I'm talking about to complement your study, is asking them to say, okay, present me with the opportunity. And that's most of the time, that's all you need to do. And something will come along and you'll go, oh, thank you. And I just acknowledge spirit and say, thank you for that. And, you know, you can do that regarding anything. So it's such a lovely feeling to know that you're well supported.
Oh, thank you. This is beautiful.
Yeah. Oh. So, and don't forget the other two messages before I wrap up. Getting outside a bit more for you. So it's like that connection to nature and, you know, disconnecting from the what's going on in the world, but just having that time out and being creative. So using the other side of the brain so that you're having a bit of fun and losing yourself in being creative, I have to say.
I will do that. I love to paint, and I haven't painted in a long time. So I think I need to get back into that.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. It's been lovely to connect with you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Pleasure. Okay, I've got Melissa on the line. It's my next
Hi.
caller. Hi, Melissa. How are you?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes. Beautiful.
Awesome. Awesome. I love your energy. As soon as I heard your voice, I'm like, oh, I like this lady. She's got there's a lot of power around you.
Yes, very much so, especially right now.
Yeah. So you've got I'll share with you what I picked up, and then we can tune in a bit more for, you know, if you've got something really specific. It's almost like when I connected prior to you coming on, it's like you're getting signs, but you're not quite listening. And it's like the universe is giving you direction, but it might be that you're caught up in overthinking things or not recognising the signs. But it's like they're showing me you're getting signs, but you're not quite picking up on them. So when I'm shown that, it's like, okay, you know, I have to share that with you and say to be open to, you know, it might be a song, it might be repetitive numbers, it might be a gut feeling on things where you're guided to go somewhere or see somebody or speak to someone. And because you're highly intuitive, you would get these normally anyway, but sometimes in a time where things are being mixed up a bit, we need to tune in that little bit more to be able to get the guidance coming through that's available to us. there's also, well, I'll just run through what I've got here. There was also an element of time to release the past. So there's a little bit of letting go around you. So it's almost like there might be something you're hanging on to, and sometimes that can be subconsciously hanging on to something. Yeah, something that's happened. It's like, I have to say to you, it's time to release it, because there's something bigger and better coming, right? And that's what I've written down here. There's bigger and better coming, and the strength that you're gaining as you go along at the moment comes from the ups and downs you've been through. So it's like they were showing me you almost had to go through that, that really tricky time to get you to where you are now. And I know you're probably still not feeling you're fully through it yet, but it's like once you get through that, you will look back and say, I know now I've had that lesson. I don't need to go down the same track. I'm not going to make the same choices, and I've learnt from that.
Yeah, if I just listened, then these two past relationships I've had will just go away, as opposed to me prolonging them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's time to let them go. And you know intuitively, and that's what I say to people, even when I'm doing a reading, is I can tell you, yes, it's time to let it go, but ultimately you know within. So I'm not telling you something you don't already know or you haven't already had the signs to do. But we as humans like to hang to what we know, and it's a very normal thing for us to stay in the comfort zone, which means we'll go to what we know rather than step into something different. But I also say with that is sometimes if you intuitively know that's the decision and you know you have to let that go, you can ask Spirit to help you with that. And that might be a case of asking them to help you have the strength to have that conversation with that person, or the strength to build on that and move forward in your own time and in the way that you want to move forward. But they can give you the signs. And that's why I feel like that message for you is they're giving you signs, but they want you to just take that little bit more notice.
Right.
And this also goes back to what you deserve, because I'm shown, like you deserve to have someone that values you. You deserve to be a priority and not be, pushed back into just fitting into someone's life for the sake of it, I have to say.
Huh. Oh, that's dead on.
So, this relates a little bit to what I opened up with today. This is about focusing on you and taking control of what you can control, and that is how you treat yourself. Because as you look after yourself and honour what you enjoy doing, and they're showing me too, there's something you've let go of, and I feel like it's a hobby or a pastime. You've stopped doing it because your focus has been on the relationships, and it's like you need to get back into that. And that gave you that sense of fun, that sense of, letting go of all your problems and enjoying life again. And you've let that go. So it's like there's an element of having fun you've kind of just let pass and not actually been embracing. So that's a tool, and that's a way that you can help empower yourself, because we want, when we know we deserve better, we want to start to value ourselves. And what happens then is the people that don't value you won't approach you. You actually won't be attracting the relationships whereby they don't value you, because your energy and essence will be, I am fantastic, I deserve the best, and that's all I'm going to accept.
Yeah.
And
which has kind of been shifting, and two guys have come into my life new.
Yep. But there's one that you're letting go of, yeah? Or there's one that you're not, you've already got the feeling that they don't fit, yeah?
There's two that I'm letting go of from past relationships, because I just need to finalize both of them on different levels. And there's one guy who has just come into my life, brand new, never met him, within the past month.
Yep.
And then but we're strictly friends right now. We have a lot of things in common, and numbers. We see numbers, like
awesome.
ascended master numbers and master numbers show up. And so we talk a lot about numbers.
Yep.
And this other one, he asked me out on a date for Friday, but I'm not drawn to him other than to have great conversation.
Yeah.
And I hope he feels that same way.
Well, I think in honouring yourself, if you're straight up with him and, you know, like if you feel inclined, definitely go out on the date, but just be straight up and say, I'm after someone to have fun with, and if something develops further, all and great, but at this point in time, this is my priority. And that soon sets everything straight from there on out to not feel obligated or feel like you have to be more invested than what you are.
Yeah.
Because you don't have trouble attracting.
Huh?
You don't have any trouble attracting them. Like, so you can have your choice.
So that's like a double-edged sword in some ways. But I've noticed that those I am attracting now are more like-minded, especially this guy named Charlie, who we connect.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. And again, that's tuning in, and that's, you can feel that within your heart space that you have that connection. You will find letting the others go, like once you cut the ties there, will open things up a little bit more, you know, with the more like-minded one that stepped in. Because energetically, when you're still hooking into past, it's not enabling you to fully move forward. So it's good just to be aware of that and say, okay, I really do need to cut these cords, ready to move forward into what I deserve, and you know, having that great relationship with someone that's like-minded.
Right. Yeah. I have a question.
Yeah.
It's about finding my ideal house with the financing that I have in my current mind. If there's any insight on finding it, or these certain little things that to look for, and that's where it's going to be.
Yep. Well, straight away I get it. It's outside of where you're looking now. So almost like don't be closed off into certain areas. Look a little bit further afield. And I want to say it's smaller or more... because they're showing me like compact, but so it feels spacious, but it's not a massive house, because there's an element of you where there's a sense of freedom and you wanting to not be tied down with a massive house to have to worry about, I want to say.
Mhm.
So it's I see like an open plan, like they're showing me like something that's fairly open plan, not lots of little rooms, more like an open living area. But you will know, and they're also showing me it's a little bit quirky, so I would say look at things that are a little bit different.
Okay.
It's got character, so it matches you. There's an element of you enjoy that.
Yes, I do like that.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's also it's important to be in the right area for you. Like I get that, but it's like just look a tiny bit further afield, I just have to say, because it's like where you're looking, you're not far away, but there's just something just out that little bit.
Okay.
I'm getting north of where you're looking, so just bear that in mind. Also interesting, because I've just been drawn to look outside, and we've got two massive wedge-tail eagles soaring at the moment. So that's a great sign of a union and time for you to soar. So it's like this year, things for you, it's time for you to take flight and enjoy and reap the rewards. And the fact that there's two together sounds pretty promising to me about this relationship.
Yeah, that was my next question, is if he was going to be a part of this.
Yeah, I feel so. It's like, and that's going back to what I first picked up for you here is you've done all the hard yards, you've put up with what you've done with putting up with rubbish, and it's time now for you. And it's like the timing is right now, so that the right house will come along, the right relationship will connect, and I feel a great sense of strength with this new one you're talking about. He sounds very dependable, and I want to say he's reliable compared to the others. So if he says something, he does it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's exciting for you. So it's like, I want to get excited and say, the house is there. I don't feel my sense, and timing isn't always one of my biggest things, but I feel like over the next couple of months you're going to find what you're looking for as far as your house.
Beautiful. Now, as far as the new business I started up, what do you see for financial flow coming in, funding sources, grants?
Is there somebody you're looking at connecting with now? Because it's like there's a connection. They're showing me a connection to somebody that will give you. Do you contract to others, or is there something to do with an organisation if you hooked in with that you would get continual work from through your business?
It would be, if it was an organization, we would go under this Northeast Kingdom Community Action if we could go under them. But the other thing is the hospital here is a big funder for, what we're doing. Or the school system.
Yeah, they need to connect with you. So I feel like you need to go out there and talk about the business, and then when they connect with you, that will bring a contract. But I feel like there's a contract with, and over here in Australia, I would look at it like a government agency or something where it's a bigger organisation that will give you the part-time funding and then still allow you to branch out in other areas, I want to say. But it's like there'll be a mainstay. So you'll get continual money coming in through that connection. But it is like you need to go there and actually meet with them and put forward what you're going to do for them, because what you do is helping other businesses, yeah?
Helping youth.
Yeah. So it's like... you've got a lot to offer. So I just want to say, get out there and start talking to people, because there's one connection that's going to get you a lot of ongoing work. So please let me know how you go. I have to wrap up now because my producer's giving me that, I'm going to be kicked off. But it's been wonderful connecting, Melissa. And just be prepared to soar, because it's really great for you.
All right. Thank you. Be well.
You too. See you, gorgeous. Okay, it's come to the end of our half an hour. How time flies. And I'm like, always running out of time. There's never enough time. I might have to affirm that. So within wrapping up today, I just want to remind you all that you have the power to create the life that you want and live on purpose. One of the biggest tools, and you'll hear me say it nearly at every show, is doing your affirmations. I have, let me see, in my office, I write up affirmations all the time. These, I haven't cut them up, but I stick them around. So no matter what I'm going through, I will have my affirmations that show, like this one, I attract only the best people around me who support and encourage me. And that's A1R Radio is one of them. And I surrender to the power that is always guiding me to be the best that I can be. Now, no matter what you're going through, affirmations are really powerful tools. Louise Hay work is amazing. And I have to say, if you haven't read her book, get onto You Can Heal Your Life. I think everyone's got that book somewhere in their bookshelf. So pull it out, have a look. And remember, the affirmations are the most powerful thing that we can do for ourselves is to affirm the life that we want. And you all deserve it. We all deserve it. And life's about having fun and embracing it 100%. 100%. And that's what Spirit comes through to show you, is that they are always there and they'll support you as well. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Don't forget Australia's Psychic Cowgirl on Facebook. Or psychiccowgirl.com.au is my website. Please connect. I love connecting with you. I've had a number of inquiries over the last week. I've been able to do readings for many of you throughout the world, and I love it.
God, it's been one of those weeks for me. I can't even get my words straight this week. Good afternoon and early good morning to everyone out there. I'm coming from Wallen, Australia. I have had a very interesting week this week as a piece of fluff just flies past. Sorry. It's been a very interesting week for me this week. I've had a lot of time to go through things, and I feel like that's what's been happening lately because we're going through the change of a season. Over here in Australia, we're going into our autumn, so things are sort of starting to go a little bit, starting to work into a hibernation type field, whereas over there in America, see, told you, my tongue is tied today, my mouth is just not working, so bear with me today. Over there, you're getting into your spring, so you're doing spring cleaning, you're getting out of that winter doldrums and starting to manifest all these beautiful things that start to grow and the new birth and all that sort of stuff. So it's really interesting, whereas over here, we're starting to get ready for winter. And you wouldn't believe it's winter out there. It's beautiful and sunny, and we're getting like 25, 26 degrees today. It's going to be beautiful. So I'm going to be out and about in that beautiful weather because I've had a bit of a head cold this week, so trying to get over that, and which is interesting because I've also got an ear. I had an ear infection, so I've been told that what am I not listening to, which is quite interesting because you do get to a point where you just go, what am I not listening to? And we don't have time to sit and just be aware of what's going on. So it's been interesting this week. I've been through a lot of mixed emotions, so it's quite an interesting week. I have worked out that I can't sit still. I've got to do work, and I've started to be a little bit more creative. And it was interesting this week. A friend of mine who has done that beautiful staff there, and you can see the wand just there as well. She does this beautiful work with feathers and crystals and wands and everything. And I was actually walking to get something for my computer because my desktop computer hasn't been working for about 10 months. And I was gifted she collects feathers. And I was just walking to this place, and this is where signs for me, you just go, what does that mean? And I was actually on my altar. I've got this little table here. It's got all my crystals and everything on it. And I have was gifted a beautiful bird wing, and it was absolutely gorgeous. So it's up on my altar at the moment, or my table that I do readings on at the moment. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to place it. So, yeah. So I have Sean on the phone from Glasgow is it Glasgow, Kentucky? Is that right, Sean?
Yes, it is.
Hi, how are you?
I'm going through a lot right now.
Okay, and it's interesting because I've got a funny feeling it's been the month for it, especially coming up after Mercury retrograde and everything. A lot of people are going through so many different things. So it's funny because I saw Glasgow and then I saw Kentucky. I went, oh, are we in Scotland? And then I saw Kentucky. I went, oh, cool. I didn't realise there was one over in the US as well. So is it like a suburb or a little sort of inlet or something?
It's a smaller town.
Okay, awesome. Cool. So I'm a psychic medium. Did you want me to go more psychic or mediumship, or where did you want to sort of just go with the flow and see where it comes up?
Well, I guess the two things that are bugging me is how's my love life gonna look, and
Yes.
I came here to better my job and hopefully salvage a relationship. So I guess go from there.
Okay. No, that's fine. I'll just work it out. So what I want to just look into this for a minute, and it's interesting because you said you wanted to move for this relationship. But what I want to say with the relationship, it's more of a case of it's okay, where am I going to start? So I just want to stay with you with this relationship. I feel like you give more than what you receive, and I feel like that's been an underlying tone for you throughout probably the last 5 to 6 years for you. And I just want to say, sorry, someone's just piping in behind me, so bear with me for a second. I just want to say with this too, it's not a bad thing to give, but sometimes we need receiving. But I do feel like it's a bit of a one-way street with this relationship, which sometimes is a good thing, but it just depends on how you can change it so it actually works both ways. And I do want to say, the relationship feels a little bit slow, it's a little bit sluggish, and it's not the fact that you're struggling with it. I just feel like it hasn't got the fulfillment as a relationship. But I just want to say, looking at yourself, it's not trying to put a cherry on top of something. You need to make sure that I don't know why I'm going to ice cream and sundaes and everything, but just bear with me for a second. But I just want to say with you, it's like I want to say you need to sort of fill your cup a little bit so that relationship can be that cherry. And it's interesting, filling your cup with doing things that you love to do and really connect with your heart and your soul. It sort of gives you a better outlook on what you want in a relationship. So whether or not it may be time for a break with this relationship, I just feel that you need to sort of look at doing things for you and see where the relationship fits after doing that, if that makes sense. Now, with the work, your work is quite interesting. I feel like it's full on. Like, you can get to a point where it can be 24/7 sometimes because you actually bring work home. Does that make sense, Sean?
I'm a nurse aide, so I work all different shifts, all different times, and sometimes it's hard to get away.
Yeah, because I was just going to say, it feels like you're 24/7, so this is where I probably got the shifts in. But I just want to say with that, it's going to grow. There's growth there. Also, I'm being shown study as well. So I don't know if you're doing a little offshoot something as well that gives you a little bit more knowledge or understanding in something that's, I still want to say you're not moving from where you are in regards to a career, but I just want to say giving you a little bit more oomph or a little bit more sort of knowledge and I'm just trying to think of the word. It's like I want to say that the career's going to stay the same, but you're expanding. Thank you. You're expanding to do other things. Now, it's interesting. I also feel that you're very spiritual. I do sense that you always have that intuition and that psych sort of awareness that things aren't going quite right with a patient or even with someone around you. I feel that with that, you sort of bring that to work as well, which is really good, but you don't have any downtime. And this is where I want to say to you, start filling your cup with things that you love to do, hobbies, reading, writing, very crafty. Do you work with your hands? Like, I want to say, did you ever knit? Do you ever knit, or do you ever do things with your hands, like art or something? Or
I build custom trucks.
Oh, okay. Because I just want to say that's something that you love. It's like because I was going to say hands-on, and it's like I want to say
I do mechanic work and stuff.
Okay, that makes sense too. So it's like I want to say you need to do that to get out of your other sort of mode as well. So it gives you a balance, because I just want to say you're not energetically, I feel like you're not actually looking after yourself, if that makes sense. So you feel really drained.
Yeah, I have felt really drained. I feel like I've just been bouncing around for the last year and a half trying to figure out where I'm going to be, what I'm going to do ever since I lost my job in Michigan and bounced around and been through everything. So I've lived in Alabama. I just came to Kentucky.
I feel like you're going to settle here. If it's not in Glasgow, I know Kentucky feels like it pulls on the heartstrings for you. There's a reference to feeling at home. I know there's certain areas of that state that are quite spiritual and quite sort of in depth and really get to the heart. And I do feel like you're going to settle for a little while here. Okay. Also, I know you've got the travel bug, and I do feel like you get itchy feet quite regularly. So doing like the travel or just going away on a trip or even just a weekend away just to sort of get to now. I don't know. Please bear with me with my geography. I'm sort of a little bit, I might have to start studying the US a little bit more. But with Kentucky, is there a beach or is there a place that you can go, or is it more inland?
We've got some small lakes and rivers, and me and my friend that I'm trying to work my relationship, we like to go on like road trips down to Florida and go fishing in the Gulf and stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, because that's what I want to say to you. There's a reference to going to the beach for a weekend or a week away, and it's just I just want to say there's a reference to the beach because they're showing me the beach. So I just want to say a weekend away would be good for you just to have that little bit of a break, if that makes sense. So, okay. And it's interesting, I've got a few more minutes, but I just want to say there's a lady that's coming through as well, and I feel like she was a big part of your life when you were growing up. She's very much looking at you like when you were a child, and I don't know if this is a grandmother or a great aunt, but I just want to say there's this lady who wants to bring the joy in, and she's got this gorgeous smile, and she has this really wicked sort of laugh, and I know she passed... it's like I want to say in her 60s. I don't feel like she was very old when she passed, but I just want to say she has this beautiful sense of joy, and I feel that's what she wants to bring you back to as well, like your childhood sort of imagination and your memories and things like that. She just wants to bring that through for you, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So if you don't quite, I feel like she's more dad's side of the family than mum's side of the family, but I just want to say there's a closeness now. In a sense, with saying the closeness, if she's not family, I want to say she's a friend of the family, or she's like an aunt. So for me, I've got a beautiful aunt that I've known since I was 2, but she's not any part of the family or anything. But I know she's really close with my mum, but I just want to make reference to this lady bringing joy and happiness around you in your younger years. And I do want to say she's just wanting to let you know that there is joy and fun. And I do want to say, please go out and enjoy the sun. There's something about having time for you to fill your cup. So can I leave that with you? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But I do feel like you're settling at the moment. Like there's a settledness around you where you live. Okay, so it's not that you're going to move, and I do want to say it's like managing your energy. So taking time out for you would be a really important thing right now, because I feel like you're being pulled in so many different directions, like you said, your relationship and work and things like that. I do want to say, please make sure you do things for you and not just work.
Okay.
Okay. So is there any other questions, sort of, Sean, that I can help you with?
I can't really think of anything right now other than I hope everything falls into place, and that... And it will, and it's funny because I want to say there's confirmations coming for you, and it's interesting. I want to say whether or not you have oh, God, that's really funny. And it's interesting because I feel like you're a bit of a rebel, and this is the reason why I'm going to say this to you, is because you know when everything's going to start flowing a lot better, because it's not to say that you're stuck. I just feel like there's things you need to look at a little bit more, but you know when things are going to really start flowing, and it's the actual You know the flag off the Dukes of Hazzard's car? You know, the top, I don't know if it's the Rebel, I don't know. It's like the Rebel flag or something.
Because I'm putting a Confederate flag headliner in my truck.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, it just freaked me out. Because I want to say, when you see that flag, you know things are going okay. There's that reference, that sign is okay for you.
Okay.
Okay, because I just feel like there's that reference of when you see that, and I know you're just putting it on there, but I feel like there's also when you go past it, you always have a question in your head, and if you see that flag, you know it's a true yes, and you know it's a sign as well. So can I leave that with you?
Okay, thank you.
All right, not a problem. Have a good evening. Thanks, Sean, for calling in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I have Tammy now. Tammy from I don't know how I'm going to pronounce that. How do you pronounce it, Tammy?
It's Kalamazoo.
Kalamazoo. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
It's just with the way my English is like sometimes I just don't want to sort of say it wrong. But okay,
That's okay.
Tammy. Now, what's it like? What's the weather like there at the moment? Is it starting to get a little bit more?
Well, it's nighttime, but it's probably in the 30s.
Okay, so is it starting to warm up a little bit for you?
Yes, finally.
Awesome.
We had a lot of snow a few days ago, but it's starting to go up into the 50s now, so.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
And you go, thank God, because has it been a long winter this year?
No, not too bad. Actually went by pretty fast.
Okay, cool. And it's interesting because I saw Michigan and because my husband and his best mate used to play gridiron over here in Australia, and they're mad Michigan fans, like mad, like everything. It's like crazy. So anyway, so besides that, okay, let me just have a look. And I just want to talk to you. Oh, God. Now, I have got a gentleman now. I just want to say he looks or he feels grumpy. There's like this grumpiness around him. Yet I know it's like a bit of a funny thing around the family with this gentleman that he was really grumpy, but he had this heart of gold. Like there's a reference to heart. Interesting because I'm being pulled to my heart with this gentleman as well. Like I want to say whether or not he had heart issues or a heart attack before he passed, but I feel like he's a bit of a stocky man. And I do want to say he just wants to come through with this big smile on his face because you know when he's grumpy, but he still has a smile. And I do want to say he was taken earlier than what was expected. I've got a funny feeling. He used to hide. He's a typical man. He hides things from people in regards to his health. But I do want to say there was heart issues or heart complications with him. Would that make sense with you?
Yeah.
And I do want to say whether or not I want to be drawn to mum's side of the family, or he wants to say hi to mum, but there's a reference to being drawn to mum's side of the family with this gentleman. And I do want to say with him as well that he's got this gorgeous sort of cheeky smile, like he has this little cheeky smile that just lifts to the corner of his mouth. And whether or not he went bald or he went really fine on his head early, but I just want to say he's very like fine on the head, if that makes sense, because he's just tapping his head and it looks a bit baldish. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Thank you. And I know he's got these chubby cheeks because he's just got this big smile, and it's really interesting because when I see the chubby cheeks, I also see the redness in them as well. So that I would say would be very much to do with his blood, or there's something also there as well. But I know there's this rosiness around it because he's just got this. But I tell you, he can play the grump quite easily, but he's got this beautiful sort of sensitive heart, if that makes sense, like a heart of gold. He would give his left arm for someone, but I know he's a grumpy old soul, if that makes sense. And he's got this, he's just, and he's quiet too, but I know he's got hand gestures because he's like shaking his finger at you at the moment. And I just want to say, feeling that with you is more of a case of you know better. You know better not to overthink these things. You know better not to look at things in a way that you're worrying about hurting people or upsetting people or stepping on people's toes. And I do feel like this has been happening for you over the last month or two. It's not a bad thing to stand up for who you are, but I do feel like sometimes he goes, she was the wallflower. She was the one that used to be quiet and used to stand back. Would that make sense with you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking up now, people are getting a little bit like, whoa, why? How come you're doing this now? And it's interesting. I don't know if it's an age thing or we actually feel like we're actually fitting in our own skin or fitting in our own body. Like we have this sense of self, and I really feel like you're starting to really blossom into this, if that makes sense. And I do want to say speaking your truth can sometimes hurt, but you're worried, and he's shaking his finger because he was always known as the grumpy man in the family, yet I know there was a heart of gold there, and I know that he would just give his right arm. It's just that sense. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Without saying too
sorry.
much, you know what I mean?
Sorry?
I said without trying to say too much, but...
Yeah, thank you. But I just want to say, oh my God, he's sitting over here and he's watching me, and which is interesting because I keep shaking my finger, so I do apologize. But I just want to say he's sitting here watching me with a very sort of intent eyes, and I feel like he was quite that serious, like he had this intent, like he knew he was thinking, or you could see that he was thinking, and he was very much of a man that was always in thought, but when he spoke, it was very, it was just a matter of fact. It was very like, sometimes he would say something and I feel like the family would just go, what? What? How would you know that? How would you, it would just be something totally out of the blue, and the whole family would go, how would you know that? And I want to say grandpa, but I don't know if it's a grandfather for you, but I just want to say there's a reference to that. He's also telling me something about 6 children, so I don't know if he's one of 6 or he had 6, but there's something around 6 children he wants to acknowledge as well.
And it sounds like my great-grandfather, but he was like 87 when he passed away.
Okay, this is interesting. So 68, there's a reference around 68. If it's not his age, I want to say 68's a reference. So if it's not his age, there's something around 68 for him that would have been quite significant as well. So I'll leave that with you, but I just want to say he just wants to say 68.
Okay.
Okay. So
I'll try to figure it out.
Yeah, no. Just leave it with you. I've just got to trust with what I get. But he definitely wanted to say something about 68. I don't know if did your grandmother pass before him?
Yes.
He did. She did.
Yes, I believe in 78.
Okay. So I'll just leave that. But I know he's acknowledging the fact that she greeted him, and it was interesting. I feel like she punched him first,
Right.
because he was a typical man, and he didn't listen. And she's definitely. Was your grandmother much of a talker? Because I want to say she's talking his ear off now.
Yeah.
Thank you. So he was the quiet one. He would sit and then all of a sudden speak because your grandmother was the speaker. Ha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was the type that if he spoke, then you listened. You know what I mean? He's very knowledgeable.
Oh, very. And you can see that intent in his eyes. Like he's very thoughtful, and he's very sort of here with his eyes. He's so intent. But there's something about you that he's shaking his finger at, and he's going, you know better. There's something about you knowing better, and I'm just trying to look into that a little bit more. And
hard telling
I
with
do
me.
want to... Pardon?
I said hard telling with me.
Yeah.
No,
So he's just wanting to. Okay. Where are you going with this? It's like I want to say, you know better. And I don't know if it's to do with around relationship or there's something sort of understanding that whether or not you can see it, but you don't want to say anything, but there's just that reference there. And I feel like I'm drawn to relationship or family relationships. There's something about that. And I feel like you need to speak up a little bit more, but there's definitely that reference there. I want to say relationship-wise. And it's interesting because I feel like you found your voice. And it's funny, you find your voice with a lot of people, but are you in a relationship at the moment?
Yes.
Okay.
Bad 6 years. Bad 6 years, I should say.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you're not in this, are you still in the relationship now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and this is why he's shaking his finger going, you should have known better. Gotcha.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Not a healthy one.
So moving forward, I just want to say there's nothing you can do to change them. There's nothing, as much as you would love to, or you've changed yourself for them, I don't feel like that's going to happen. And I do want to say for you, looking after yourself is a big thing. And you have really started you've really started doing that over the last month or two. And I do want to say that the last month or two is starting to show, it's like I want to say you're showing your teeth, and he's laughing because showing your teeth sometimes can be detrimental to you because you worry about what people think. So I've just got a couple more minutes. But is there any question that you want to ask?
Is there any female besides the older? The grandmother?
Not at this stage. I don't feel like there is one that's coming through at the moment. But I just want to say the grandfather was the message, I think, today. But that's not to say that you can't actually connect with me later on my Facebook page, Geordie Jane's Psychic Medium, or Geordie Jane's psychicmedium.com.au. Connect with me there and we can do another reading at another time as well. So, but please.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah, Tammy, please contact me and we can do another offline air thing. So thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Tammy, for connecting with me and calling. And thank you, everyone. Have a lovely week. I'll see you next Friday. And God bless everyone. Mwah. Thank you for listening. Bye.
And the city is Hollywood, California. Welcome. We are live, and that's exciting every time I do this. So tonight I wanted to talk about this vibration that's going around this week with my clients and my friends, and before I get to the fortunes. And what it is kind of a darkness and a depression. And I've never really spoken to you guys about depression and loss and how to cope with that and how to deal with times when you go dark. Because in spirituality, it's not always about being happy all the time. I think that's a big misconception, is that if you're spiritual, you're always happy. That couldn't be further from the truth. Spirituality helps us through the dark times and keeps us from from going off the deep end, I think. But what happens when we start to feel dark? How do we cope with that? And of course, we do go to our spiritual practice, but when we're in it, it's very difficult to get there initially. And so I wanted to just speak to you guys about it tonight and just give you a few tools so that you can be ready when depression strikes. And I suffer from depression personally. I have since I was as far back as I can remember, since I was 5 years old. I used to be really dark and sort of sit with my little dog and talk to my dog and tell him all my problems and take solace that way. And, I've dealt with it my whole life. And that is one of the reasons I sought out spirituality. And with my psychic ability, I was always sort of seeking a higher truth and trying to sort of figure out what was going on with myself. And so that brought me to spirituality. But so when you start to feel dark, what do? What should you do? Well, most people self-isolate. And what that does is it creates more depression, because you spiral and you start to think darker thoughts and you start to get darker. So what I suggest is reaching out. And even though you probably don't even want to, but it's very healthy and it's very important that you reach out. Now, should you text someone? Should you hit them up on Facebook or Instagram? Not really, because it's not true intimacy. And what you want with dark feelings and depression is a true connection. And so true connection is the old school face-to-face, okay, you guys? So make an appointment with someone or make a date with someone, like coffee or lunch, or go over to their house if you want to just be in their realm. But you want to show up and be present and be with a friend or a loved one or a family member, and trust that they want to help. That's important. You don't want to have that guilt about being a burden. That's a common misconception. Oh, I'm a burden. I don't want to feel guilty for being a burden. Understand that people want to help and people love you. My husband lost his daughter she took her own life, and this was about 2 years ago. And since that happened, it's been really one of my goals in life to make sure that people can make it through depression and not, go to such lengths to take their own lives. It's absolutely devastating, and I helped him through his depression during that time. And she does come to me in the form of butterflies. And as I do see the angels, it's very helpful for us. But I want you to understand, reach out, seek someone to talk to. And then from there, an important thing to do is number 2 is do things that make you feel good. Okay, so get your butt out of bed, go get a mani-pedi, go shopping, go get your hair done. You do things that make you feel beautiful, that make you feel good. Try to do something, okay? Because if you self-isolate, if you stay in bed the whole time, you're going to spiral, and that doesn't work. In Buddhism, there's a saying, sit with the pain. Now, that's different. If you sit with the pain, that means you're processing, you're dealing with it, you're figuring out active ways in which to feel better. Ultimately, that's sitting with the pain, okay? You're actually dealing with it by processing and feeling everything, okay? That's different than self-isolating, okay? Self-isolating, you're probably overeating, getting high, getting drunk, smoking, whatever it is to sort of mask the pain, to get rid of it through unhealthy means. So if you do choose to sit with the pain, it's very brave, it's very difficult, but it is something that you can do, and it is pretty awesome if you can accomplish that. But don't feel like, oh gosh, I'm not able to sit with the pain. Don't worry about it. Most people aren't at that level, and it is pretty difficult. So here we are. Get support from someone outside. Go do something for yourself. And then number 3, I would get moving. And that means exercise, which is scientifically proven to raise your serotonin. So what that means is obviously hit the gym. If you're not a gym rat, if you're not a gym person, it's just as easy as putting one foot in front of the other, okay? So taking your dog for a walk, or just taking yourself for a walk. Here in LA, there's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of concrete, stuff like this. But what I do is I look up. I look at the trees. I look at the sky. And that is nature. So spend time in nature. Even if you don't think you have nature around you, you always do somewhere. The earth is our God, and God is everywhere. So make sure you look to the sky, look to the trees, calm yourself through nature. Because if you're inside the whole time, you're going to feel pent up, you're going to feel frustrated, you're going to get overheated, and all these reality shows coming at you. How can you not feel depressed? So understand that, okay? Now, with the negative thoughts, this is something I teach my clients. You have to simply overcome them. And it isn't simply, but it's like learning a new language, okay? So if you guys out there speak a new language, like I pretend I speak Spanish like everyone in LA. It's more like Spanglish. But when you speak Spanish, say when I'm in Mexico and it starts flowing, I feel like, oh, right, I'm speaking Spanish. I'm fluent. And it's flowing. It kind of feels great because you're in that sweet spot. Well, it's the same with positive thought. You can get into that sweet spot where you are flowing with positive thought. And it takes training, okay? So it takes training of the mind to reach the point where you are in positive thought 100%, because you have trained your mind to be there, all right? So what happens is, in the beginning, you have to start telling yourself the opposite of your negatives, all right? So if you're walking around saying, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, I want you to catch that thought, I'm fat. And you want to say, cancel, clear, delete. I learned this from my friend Isabella, a beautiful shaman. Cancel, clear, delete. So that thought is out. And then you say to yourself, I love my beautiful, sexy, slender body. I bless my body with love. Some sort of alternate thought, opposite thought, a positive thought to replace the negative, right? But like I'm saying, it's learning a new language. So you're going to constantly, in the beginning, be checking yourself. I'm broke. No. Cancel, clear, delete. I am infinitely wealthy and debt-free, right? And then what happens is, after like a month, you start automatically saying the positive thought. I'm infinitely wealthy and debt-free. I'm infinitely wealthy and debt-free. Oh my God, I'm infinitely wealthy and debt-free. And what happens is the universe responds to those thoughts and starts rewarding you with the money, rewarding you with the weight loss, right? Rewarding you with the happiness. So this depression and sense of loss and things like this start to dissipate, right? So understand that if you work hard to train the mind and to believe these new positive thoughts, then the negative will slowly disappear. And the one thing with affirmation that's very important is you have to believe the affirmation. Because if you're just saying it, in the beginning, you're probably just going to be saying it, right? But ultimately, you have to believe what you're saying, and that's when it starts to really work. Okay, guys? So understand that. You start to believe it, and then you will receive it. Believe and you shall receive. So that's how I got out of my depression, was through the art of affirmation. Now, antidepressants. I do believe in them, okay? Personally, I don't take them, but I do believe if you are dark enough, you should take antidepressants, because it's like a diabetic needs insulin. This is my personal opinion, but there are some people who are dark enough that they do need some sort of adjustment. So I personally believe if you're that dark and you can't get out, then you possibly should look into medication. Therapy, yes. Spiritual therapy, most definitely, okay, guys? Because then you're in touch with the universe, with quantum physics, with the art of positive thought, all these things, hopefully, so you don't have to take medication. But if you are so dark that you're feeling suicidal, you should probably look into something like that, okay? So that's my thoughts. Those are my thoughts on depression, because so many of my clients have been dark lately, and I've been trying to lift them up, help them out of this darkness, and keep them from, doing anything dangerous or, going off the deep end, really. And just know also, when you lose someone, it can also be in the form of a breakup, and you still are mourning. And anyone who tells you that there is a time limit on mourning, or you should, and especially with a breakup, because that person is still alive, oh, you should be over them by now. Just know there is no time limit on mourning, okay? So those people can just, get lost. You don't need to listen to them anymore. You just don't need to speak to them about your pain, because they don't understand, right? So there is no time limit on mourning. You can mourn as long as you like, but understand that when there is a breakup, you are being invited by the universe to grow, to expand, to move forward, okay? To blossom like a lotus, to become a butterfly, all right? You notice when you break up with someone, you lose weight, you start looking hot, you start going to the gym, you start getting yourself, into books and knowledge and moving forward. It's no accident, because you're being invited by God, by the universe, to expand, to move forward, to be this beautiful butterfly. So I want you to kind of step out of your sadness and say, hey, I'm going to evolve and do me. And then God or universe is going to bring me someone who deserves me. So that's a good way to look at breaking up, okay? I know it hurts like hell, but just understand that that is what a breakup is actually about, okay? Is cleansing yourself and making room for the new, all right? So take time for yourself, and hopefully these tips on going dark will help, because losing a loved one from suicide or losing a loved one just to depression in general is really difficult for us who aren't depressed or who aren't, whatever. But it's really, really hard on everyone. So keep your thoughts correct. Work hard at training the mind. That helps so much. And the other cool thing with helping out with depression is just dogs. Dogs are wonderful. Dog, spelled backward, is God. Okay, so get a dog if all else fails. Okay, so those are my thoughts on depression. So if I helped anyone today, I'll be glad for that. As far as your fortunes for the week, for your predictions, as far as money and work, number one, work is kind of weird right now. What I feel is the vibration of someone who may be threatening you, because they're kind of like, there's a presence of a younger, hotter, sexier person at work that may be bright and shiny and sort of taking away your mystique, and they won't last long. So don't worry about it. It's just that they are new on the scene kind of feeling, right? So, or the boss may be attracted to them. This is temporary, okay? But you're not going to be getting that much attention for like the next 2 weeks due to this bright and shiny object, person, thing, okay? Either an object, person, or thing. There's distraction. So if you're not feeling the love, that is why, okay? There's distraction from an outside source. Now, so the message is don't take things personally. You're doing fine. Just don't take things personally, because you're not going to feel a lot of appreciation, but it's not personal. All right. So that's like for a week or two. And then everything else with work, pretty much the same. It's a very Groundhog's Day vibe right now, meaning everything is the same, on the same vibration, same sort of steady flow. No increase, no decrease, but sorry to say, not a lot of appreciation either. But they still love you. They're just not saying it. As far as money is still on the increase, but it's becoming a little more subtle. You've got to watch for the signs. You've got to ask for what you want, ask the universe, and make it clear. There are vibrations of, again, unexpected sources. So money coming from unexpected sources, which is exciting. So, a check in the mail, a lottery ticket, something like this, or maybe even a raise at work. But I wouldn't see a raise for like 2 more weeks, because right now, again, you're not being really noticed. As far as love vibration right now, love is very tender. It is, there have been a lot of breakups. Now, I don't want you to think you're going to be broken up with, but I want you to appreciate the love you have, okay? So this is for couples. If you're in a couple, make sure you don't look back and understand when you got together, how beautiful that was, and cherish that. And look back fondly with all the memories you have with your partner, and try to recreate some of that magic this week, okay? And appreciate what you have. And instead of bitching about what goes wrong these days, go back and appreciate what you have and have had, and move forward with this beautiful feeling of love together, okay? Now, if you're single, do your best to not make waves this week, okay? Because there's like a snapping turtle effect going on, where if you say the slightest thing, someone may get a little upset, okay? Now, that vibration lasts for 5 more days. So just make sure you be cautious with what you say to your mate, because it's almost like, not to be creepy, but like they have PMS or something, like they're on edge. So just be cautious and be gentle with your words, okay? So that's love. And as far as the vibration overall, it should just be a peacekeeping time, and everything is fine, but communication is just a little wonky. But just make sure that you keep your thoughts correct, like I said, and don't go dark. But that was just the message due to the influx of my clients who have been sort of dark in the last couple of weeks. I thought, hey, maybe you have it too, and I thought I would share that with you. But I'm ready to take a caller now. Who have I got out there?
Tanya from Columbus, Ohio.
Hi, Tanya.
Hi, how are you this evening?
Oh, Sonia, I'm sorry.
Can you hear me okay?
I can. What can I do for you?
I I kind of want to know what's going on with the job that I had an interview with. I've had 2 interviews with this particular company, and I feel like they're just lingering, and I don't know what the holdup is. They say they're still doing interviews. I have no clue. Is this a job that wasn't meant for me, or what do you see?
Was that last Thursday?
Last Thursday. The interview? No, the second interview took place on April the 2nd.
Okay. Because I feel a Thursday.
Last Thursday, I did speak with someone, but then it was a no-go. Nothing happened with it.
Okay, because I feel last Thursday. Okay, so you spoke with someone last Thursday. They are being truthful. They are still looking at people. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
However, okay, by next Friday, you will have all your information. I feel that you are one of the contenders.
Okay.
I feel that you are one of the contenders, and it comes down to 3 people, and you are one of them.
Okay.
Now, there's a great possibility that you get this job. So why are you hesitant?
Okay.
Why do you feel hesitant? Just because of the runaround?
I feel, yes. They were looking to hire pretty soon, but then it's like something happened with one of my references. The manager wasn't able to get a hold of one of them, so I had to give a backup reference, and I don't know if that was an issue, if that may have caused them to be hesitant or whatnot. I'm not sure.
It didn't affect things, and I don't want you to worry, and I can't guarantee, but I see 1 in 3 chance. There's 3 contenders, and you're very much on the list and very high regard.
Okay.
So I wouldn't worry. The indication is please stop worrying, and a very good chance that you get it. Very good chance that you get it.
Okay.
The reference thing is not an issue.
So the reference was not an issue?
No.
Okay.
By next Friday, you will have your answer. And if I'm to predict, I would say you get the job.
Okay. This is the one I had 2 interviews with.
Correct.
Okay.
I don't want you to worry. Just do you in the meantime.
Okay. Now, do you see a particular salary that they are going to offer, or
I
or
see
a range?
the number 6, 60. Is that making sense?
60. No.
No? Okay. Why don't you give me a number and I'll tell you if I'll vibrate on it, or something that you want. Because I'm seeing a multiple of 6.
You're seeing multiples of 6. I mean, I would like to see, a salary in the 60 range, but I don't know.
I see in the 60 range.
You do?
I do.
That would be nice.
I do. I think you might be underestimating the awesomeness of this position and the amount of salary. But when you said that, I tuned in and I saw a big number 6.
Okay. I know the starting range for this particular position was only 30 to 40.
Okay.
So that's why when you said 60, I did not recognize that. So could it be another position that I may be considered for?
It could be. Or maybe 2 threes. 2 3s is a 6, but I do feel very positively about this. I don't BS people. I don't, if I didn't feel good, I would tell you. I would tell you.
Okay.
But that's how I feel,
But
Sonia.
you see-
I think you're going to get it.
Okay, so you see something by next Friday.
Yes, ma'am. And I think we're at the end of the show, but I wish you all the best and the best of luck, and stay positive in your mind. Tell yourself, I have this job.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, my friend. Have a great evening.
You do the same. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, everyone. I hope you all have a beautiful night. And that was a nice call with Sonia. And, if you want to manifest something, see yourself in that job. How does it smell, feel, taste? How are the sounds? Every sense activated. How is that job for you? And see yourself in it and be there. And that's all you need to do. And you will receive the job. Believe and receive. And I really hope that Sonia gets that job, and I just know she will. Okay? So have a great night, you guys, and I'll see you next week. Lots of love.
Hi, I'm Dean, and thanks for watching Moonstruck. And now back to A1R on the air. Psychic Talk Radio, now on Moonstruck TV, enlightening television.
Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen van der Zijden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. Happy you're here as usual. It's so nice to have people tuning in, watching, and listening. I'm a medium as well as a life coach. Tonight's coaching tip is all about being disillusioned. And I'm sure you've experienced moments in your life where you expected life to be a certain way, and you end up waking up to some kind of a disillusionment and seeing that it's not quite what you thought it was going to be, or it isn't quite what you thought it was. Being disillusioned means we are disappointed in someone or something that has turned out to be what we think is less good than what we thought it would be. We say we're disillusioned when we might have a relationship with somebody and we find out they're not who we thought they were. We might be disillusioned if we have a job that doesn't turn out to be what we expected. We could even be disillusioned with life itself. As we're growing up as children, we're always being told what to do, where to go, all of those things. And we think as adults, we'll be able to do whatever we want, whenever we want. And no one will be controlling us. But then, as we grow up, we find out we have some adult responsibilities we didn't know about as children. And we think life was going to be a lot easier as an adult, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's more problematic and challenging, and that can lead us onto a little bit of path of disillusionment. We think being disillusioned is a negative state, and we think that it's a bad thing. But what if, instead of it being a bad thing, it's really waking us up from some kind of a stupor or something of unawareness? What if it's taking us from a limited belief system or a limited perspective and moving us instead into a more powerful sense of self-awareness? One of my clients was complaining about the people in her life. She was complaining about how negative they were and how nasty they were. And it was affecting her to such an extent, because that's all she could see was the negative, that she had formed this belief system that all people, which isn't true, but all people were harsh, critical, egotistical, and uncaring. This really affected her because she thought the world was a safe space. But having this belief system in place, based on some limited situations that she had experienced, she made a general statement that people are just not very nice, and it affected her. And so she didn't feel safe anymore. And because of this, she herself started becoming very critical and very judgmental. She allowed herself to be affected by this negativity, this perceived negativity that she thought was everywhere. she was so focused on this that her life experience became very negative. She disconnected from her center. She disconnected from who she truly was, and she was off balance. She was unbalanced. She didn't know where her loving center self was anymore. She got to the point that she was very disillusioned with life in general. She thought it was very hard. She was disappointed that people weren't very nice and they weren't very kind and caring. And by allowing it to affect her, that really turned her into a negative person as well. Now, of course, we all have those problems and challenges, as I always say. We always will experience negative situations and negative people, but we don't have to let that negativity affect us so much so that we lose track of who we truly are. This disillusionment with my client, she started to really think about this. She didn't want to be miserable anymore. She didn't want to be focused on the negative anymore. She no longer wanted to look at all people and judge them and feel like they were horrible people. What she did is she ended up using that disillusionment and opening her eyes up a little bit to see what was really going on. She used it to kind of reclaim herself and get her awareness back into a state of actually being used. She recognized that she had the power to shift her beliefs, to change her belief systems into something else. She also realized she needed to detach from this perceived negativity rather than allowing herself to get sucked into that negative emotion. You know how sometimes something goes on in our heads and it just goes and goes and we can't get out of it sometimes. That's what can happen if we're fixating on something, and it brings up that sense of disillusionment. Since this, when I talked to her about this, she started to realize that it wasn't all people who were bad. It was just a couple of people, but it affected her so much because she was on the more sensitive side too, that's how come she allowed it to affect her to such a degree that she lost herself. Now, for another example, as I always talk about relationships on here, it seems, that's something that we all want to know about. We've all had relationships where the person we're with turns out to be a totally different person than who we thought they were. They're usually not as loving and kind and caring as we thought. Initially, when this happens, when that disillusionment comes in and we go, we're shocked that this person is not the way we thought they were, we will get very sad. It can be very distressing. And what will happen is we need to mourn what we've lost here. We've got to mourn what we thought we had. We thought we had something special, but we don't necessarily, because now our eyes are opening up in our state of disillusionment. We may have made plans in our head or physically, and now they're not working out because it's just not. But because our disillusionment is opening our eyes up to our own awarenesses, opening our eyes up to reality of who we are, who other people are, we're really seeing things a little bit more clearly. It's helping us grow as people and actually have a better life. So disillusionment is not necessarily a bad state. It can be painful and distressing, but it moves you into a new state of awareness that's very important for achieving the life you want to have and creating that. With a relationship, I bet you can look back on a relationship you had at one point where you woke up, you had that disillusioned feeling, and then you realized that, you had to move on for whatever reason. But now you look back and you go, wow, I'm so glad I didn't stay with that person, because if I had stayed with that person, it would have been horrible. So a disillusion can really help you protect you from something that would have been horrible. It's opening you up also to other aspects about yourself, who you are as a person. What is acceptable to you? What are your boundaries? What kind of life do you want to have? Are you having that? What is important to you? That will move you into this new state of questioning, what is it you really want out of life? If you're feeling disillusioned now with a person or a situation or whatever it is, allow it to show you what's important to you. Allow it to show you what needs to be brought to your awareness. What you feel like you need to know. Maybe you feel like you lost something, which would make sense, because disillusionment means you've lost some kind of a belief that is not true. It's been proven disappointingly to not be true. Maybe you feel like you've lost safety or love, or you've lost respect or even happiness. Maybe you thought life would be more carefree and it's not. And you can still take control over your life again by recognizing what it is you've lost. And if you've lost some kind of belief, that's okay, because you'll move into a new belief that's even stronger, that's more realistic. And I'm not saying that for my client that all her people that are around her were nasty and negative, because they weren't. It was just what she was looking at right now. So sometimes our beliefs just need to be shifted a little bit to move into a better state. So allow this disillusionment, I don't even know if that's a word, to open your eyes to the facts, to see what's really out there. Let it take you beyond your limited perspectives and beliefs and back into the oh my goodness, I can't talk, the powerful place of who you truly are, that state of awareness where you can figure things out from a more empowered perspective. Let go of a belief if it's not true. Release the expectations of how the world should be or you thought it would be, and see things from a different angle instead. Recognize the power that it's giving you. You're reclaiming your inner power, and when you do that, you're also reclaiming your power to create the life you want and deserve. And that is my coaching tip of the day. We have lots of us have experienced being disillusioned, so I thought that would be fun to talk about. It's an interesting little angle when you think about it, so maybe you'll remember it. If you're just joining in, I'm Colleen Vanderzijden, and you can find me at psychicmediumcolleen.com. Also on Facebook, Colleen Vanderzijden, Medium and Self-Empowerment Coach, and I would love for you to follow me there. It would be awesome. So we are actually going to move on right now to our first caller, who is Becky in England. Becky, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing very well. What can I help you with today?
Do you want, is it got to be something specific, or can I just say, can you pick anything up, or do you want it to be something specific?
Whatever you want. Frequently what I find out is if somebody has a specific concern, they'll call for that and they want to address it, and then they'll get irritated if I don't address it. Okay, so, if you have something specific, otherwise what I'll do is I'll connect in with the spirit and see who comes in.
Yeah, okay, do that, I think, please.
Okay, you can always interrupt me and ask something specific as we get going, of course. I do have a spirit who does step in for you, and I have a gentleman as he's coming in. And as he's coming in, I want to be a teasing personality. I want to be somebody that's going to be telling stories and trying to get reactions, especially from children. He loves children. On the other side, he tells me that he passes at a halfway decent age, so we're up in the elderly, but not the oldest ages, so maybe 70s, that area. He's also showing me something going on with my lower back into the hip area. So frequently I'll get a physical sensation for something they may have experienced when they were here. I don't feel a complainer with him, and he does feel like he's related to you. Do you have a grandfather who was a bit of a joker?
Well, I didn't meet one of them.
Okay.
And I don't think he was. I think he was very serious. So, no, I don't think so.
Okay. So do you know somebody else that might be instead of a grandfather? Because this guy, he's got a really good sense of humor, and I want to be playing with kids. I want to be teasing them and tricking them in a good way, not in a bad way. And I want to be tricking them. And this seems to be very important to him to do that.
No, not really. No, not that I can think of. No.
Okay. Just hold on to that information, because whoever wants to come in, I just let them come in and see where they want to go. The reason I feel him coming in is I get the impression that you're actually quite good with people yourself, that you have a very good way with the way, and you have a good sense of how to get the best out of people. And
definitely. I try to.
Yes, I tell you, the right spirit always comes in, even if we don't recognize them right away. And there's the feeling of a connection between the two of you, because you are kind of similar to the way he is. And as he's talking about you, he says you understand the concept of being nice to people to get what you want. So if you have a particular need, there's no need to go screaming at someone. And actually he laughs because he says you would never do that. But you know how to do it in a very respectful, kind way. But he's also telling me you're not a pushover. You'll say what you need to say. he really enjoys how you say things to people. And he gives me the impression you do spend some time guiding others, giving them direction as to how to go about doing things, suggestions, advice. He says you have very good advice because you understand where the other person is coming from. You have a very good sense of insight into what the other person is thinking and feeling. And because of that, the way you talk to them, you're very engaging, and people feel like you really understand them. You must have a lot of very nice friends around you. Do you have a lot of friends or something? Because it seems like you are like amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I do. I love people. So, yeah, I like to have lots of people around me. Yeah.
Okay, because it's really cool how he's talking about you. He gives me such a good perspective on you and how good you are. And he gives me such a feeling of joy around you, and laughter and love around you. And the effect you've had on other people is so wonderful. And he's very happy with this. I want to talk about two things before I let you go. I still have time. Okay, good. Two things. One, I want to talk about your car. Do you? I am assuming you have a car.
No, I don't. I don't drive.
Okay, I want to talk about a car, okay? Does somebody take you places? And this is, let me tell you what I'm feeling. I'm feeling a flat, okay, in the car, flat tire. I'm feeling a flat, and I want to say the left side, but I'm feeling the right side, so I'm not sure what this means. So, of course, wait a minute, you're in London, so you would be opposite me, so maybe that's why I can't tell which side I'm talking about. Oh, that's funny. So there's a flat, so there's a caution with this. So if you haven't have you experienced a flat with somebody lately?
No, in cars, but what I am concerned about is on Saturday I need to travel. Well, I booked tickets to go and see my family, and it's like a 6-hour train journey, and then I've got to come back on the Sunday, and I'm really worried that it's going to be too exhausting, the travel. So that could be to do with that, because I don't know whether to go or whether to delay the visit, you see, when I have more time to stay with my family.
Okay. I'm not having a problem with the train at all.
Yeah.
That's fine to me. The flat thing is bothering me. Okay. Are you close enough to the train that you're just going to walk there and get on it?
Yeah. Well, I was going to get a taxi, actually, a cab, so that would be in a car.
Okay. I would feel better if you went earlier than you think you need to go. Just go earlier.
Okay.
So if the train's leaving at 4, get there at 3.
Do you think I should go? Do you think I should go? Do you?
I do, because I'm not feeling any issues with the train. I'm not feeling any issues with you being there, and I'm not feeling any issues with you coming back either. It feels perfectly fine.
I'm not going to be too tired. I'm not going to be tired.
No, I'm not feeling it. I feel like you might be a little tired, but I don't feel that exhaustion feel or anything like that.
Okay,
I'm not feeling that at all. Okay, so I feel very good about that. So the leaving earlier, if you can get there earlier, just to make sure you're there on time. Okay, because coming back, it's not so essential in a way, back to your own place. But getting there, I don't know. I just feel like I want you there earlier, just so you're ready, and there's no chance of you missing.
Yeah, okay. So get to the train station earlier than I need to
Yes, get
be.
to the train station earlier.
But I will have to get a cab there. I can't walk it. That's the only thing.
Yes.
I have to get a cab.
Yes. And what may happen, I've had people tell me this happens sometimes when I tell them something like that, which I don't do a lot, but you may miss the cab that would have had the flat, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
If you get the cab that does have the flat, you'll still have time, so it's okay. So I'm trying to cover both angles here for you, because I don't want you to miss the train. That feels like
what was the other thing? What was the other thing? What was the other thing?
The other thing is kind of wacky. I want to be with pots and pans. Okay, I want to be with pots and pans, and I don't know why I'm putting my hands up and down on top of each other, and usually that means like a stacking of pots and pans. I have no idea what that means. Are you? Do you stack your pots and pans? Do you have a lot of pots and pans? What's the deal?
Yeah, well, not particularly. Lots. Normal.
Funny. Okay. Well, keep this in mind because I'm seeing the pots and pans, and there's something about the way they are angled and stacked. I'm also wondering if somebody is going to drop one because I get a little bit of a sudden feeling like startle. I feel like I'm startled. So if that happens, just try not to startle too much, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, I love the weird stuff like that because it's just weird. And it'll be fun to see if it plays out and if it happens because you'll go, oh, she said that.
Do you get anything, because I'm doing a beauty therapies course, do you get a good anything with that?
With what kind of therapy?
Beauty.
Oh, beauty therapy. No, but it feels right to me.
Yeah, good.
It feels right to me. Yeah, I mean, the way you are with people, it's perfect.
Yeah,
you know?
Thank you.
Because you make people feel good now. I mean, if you're going to do something with beauty stuff too, oh my gosh, you will have so many people around you. It'll be amazing. I mean, it just feels like, what do I want to call it? Expansive. You know, you already have a positive effect, and this is going to affect even more people. So yeah, go. Definitely. Feels good.
Thank you so much, Colleen. Thank you.
You are welcome, Becky, and you have fun. You'll have to let me know if you get startled by a pot. Thank you so much for calling. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, darling.
And that was Becky from London, England. And I have to say, I just love when weird things come in because you just never know what they mean and how it's going to play out. So sometimes we find out later. Sometimes it's already happened. So we'll see. So we will move on to our next caller, who is Michelle from New York. Michelle, how are you today?
Hi, Colleen. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. How can I help you today?
Okay, so I'm just curious. I had a friend who passed in recent times, and also, a family member as well who's passed. Not so much in recent time, but I'd like to know if their spirit is around me. How are things over there? If they have any messages for me. I'd like to know anything about my own personal future. My own work-related situation, health issues, anything that you can pick up on. I'd be happy to hear about.
Okay. And is one of the people who passed that you are hoping to find, and sometimes we find them, sometimes we don't, but is one of them passed of an illness, a cancerous situation on the younger than we expected?
Younger, yes. It was a male. He was young.
Okay, because he feels young to me as he comes in, and I just feel an illness. I feel like stuff happening throughout my body, and actually with him, I have to say, I do feel I'm closer to his passing, and I feel a bit of, I don't know what I want to call it, in and out. I want to be in and out. I feel like I'm sleeping a lot more. I feel like I'm here, I'm awake. When I'm awake, though, I'm very concerned about what's happening with people around me. He comes through the way he's coming through for me right now. He's coming through as a person who is kind of fun, but also is very good about being concerned about other people. Was he like that? Do I have him?
Yes. He definitely was a fun one, and, very sensitive, too, a sensitive soul, so of heart. You could say, Yeah, I think that's probably him that you have.
He's got there's a good vibration with him because I feel this connection of wanting to reassure people that he is good, he's not one who would want to upset people. And I can feel him glossing over how he's feeling with people and not really saying everything because he doesn't want to worry them. And I can feel some of that with him. He's talking about the people in his life who are very important to him and how people were there for him and all of that. He says people talk to him quite a lot. You must still be talking to him.
Oh, yes, every day.
Yeah, he says people talk to him quite a lot. Even though he feels like he's passed on the younger side to me, he's giving me the impression that he feels as though he had a great life, that he had good connections with good people. I feel also he had some plans he didn't get to, of course, but I feel there is a satisfaction there. He really wants to alleviate people's worry that he could have done so much more, or he would have done this, or the sadness that he passes on the sooner side. And he wants to alleviate people's worry on that and just say, no, it's no big deal. Yeah, there's something. Do you know a David by any chance?
A David?
David, in the living or past?
No.
Because there's a David coming in, and it seems to be connected to this man. So I don't know if there's a connection with you or how that goes, but there is a David that is being mentioned. So I'll just put that with you. And there's also the feeling of, yeah. Can you be sarcastic sometimes?
I think he was more sarcastic than I am, you know?
Okay. He's talking about sarcasm, and I thought he was talking about you. So he may very well be talking about himself, because he's giving me the sarcastic vibe and a little bit of the teasing vibe, too.
Yes, flirting. He's a flirt.
And if people don't get what he's saying, he'll make one of those comments. But he says you got him. You understood him. You understood what he was saying, where he was coming from. And he says you'd throw it right back at him, though.
Yeah, sometimes I would.
Yeah,
depends on the circumstances.
Yeah, around too. But you would call him on some of that stuff, and he loved when you did that. He just did. He loved it because he said it was kind of like he was baiting you at times. And maybe other people too, just to see what would come through, and how people would react. You know, he reminds me of someone who likes to get a reaction, and likes to see what's going on, how people will respond to him. All in good fun, though. He's not a mean person. It's all in good fun.
Yes, right. That's correct.
Yeah. He's not mean. He says you're actually kind of fun yourself. He says you tend to get a little too serious at times, though. And you will, something will bother you, and you'll kind of ruminate on it and stay on it a bit.
Yes, that's what I do.
And he says sometimes you will get worried about things that aren't that important, and you should just let them go. He seems to be one that would probably do something like that, like kind of let things go a little bit, though he's very sensitive, so he holds on to it. So he doesn't, it's like he won't verbalize some of that sensitivity sometimes. And you might think he's let it go, but it's still inside. But he says it's a lot more fun if you let it go. Wow, that was like a roundabout philosophy lesson there from him. He is fun, though, I must say. Okay, now you had some questions, too, but I don't remember anything you asked. Job situation. Yeah, why are we talking about the job? Do you have a bit of a drive for your job?
No, not at all. No,
okay,
my job is actually local.
Okay, because what I'm feeling is, you know how sometimes you have a drive and your mind is still going? And I feel it like calming down as you drive, which felt like to me like you were having a longer drive. So you must be pretty good about processing your day, I guess, is how it goes.
Yeah, I'm self-employed, so, maybe it could be that I'm always, my job is 7 days a week, so, and it's long hours, so I don't know if that's where the drive comes in, that I'm always going mentally.
Okay.
So
and that
you might be picking up on that.
Okay. So, Michelle, apparently I've gotten my little warning, and I've got to wrap you up. So this man on the other side, he says hello, and he's so happy to be talking to you, and he is feeling so good. So make sure you tell people that he's feeling really good. So
do you see who he's with over there?
Oh, no, not right now. But thank you so much for calling, because they're going to cut me off. So thank you so much for calling. And he says hello, and he'll be talking to you again, too. So see you later. Okay, thanks. That was Michelle from New York, and I'm Colleen Vanderzijden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. I have to think about that for a minute. I got still in spirit land over there. I didn't remember the name of the show. Creating an Inspired Life, and I'm so happy you were watching. So this week, what you want to do is you want to pay attention to how your life is going, and if you've got that little disillusionment thing happening in your life, just take a few seconds and just kind of step into that and figure out what it's trying to show you and about yourself, what you want to have in your life.
Ich bin Jacqueline. Willkommen zu Soulstar Radio. Meine Gast ist Shirley Nichols. Willkommen.
Ah,
Wie geht's?
wie geht's, Jacqueline?
Oh, sehr
Yeah.
gut.
Sehr gut, yeah. Yeah.
Can you speak English?
Yes, yes. That was just a little bit of German.
Just a tiny bit.
Just practicing.
I can talk about how my cows have spots on them.
Well, we could.
Meine Kuh haben Flecken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or did I say bird? I didn't, did I? No, that's
No.
Bible. Yeah.
Yes, yes, that's
Mm,
right.
yes.
Yes.
Welcome back. It's good to see you.
Lovely to see you, Jacqueline,
So,
as always.
You've got the German sort of story behind you and the language, and
Yes.
you've been to Germany and seen the relatives.
I have, yes, and I've been to Bavaria and Germany and heading off to Poland next year as well.
Beautiful.
So, yes, beautiful countries.
Yes. And
Yes.
so when you went to Bavaria, what sort of things did you see?
Well, that was very interesting. Looking at the meals they eat, for example, lots of beer and lots of sausage. Lots of that happening there, yes. And lots of churches.
Churches,
Yes, and lovely countryside, lots of mountains.
Any goat herds?
Plenty of goat herds,
herds.
and lots of bells and lots of cows. All of those things happening up on the mountains. Yes, and church bells ringing on a regular basis.
Beautiful. So you were able to reconnect with that heritage while you were there?
Yes, absolutely, and reconnect with relatives as well. And they spoke a language that I couldn't quite understand, so I actually learned a lot about Polish, which is really, really good.
Could they understand you?
They made an effort. Yeah. We did have a translator. Yes, but also very religious feeling around that country as well.
Yep.
Yes, and of course I'm very spiritual and religious, so there was just a little bit of an energy, not quite a match there, but it was very interesting.
Yes, it certainly would be. And
yes.
It's good for us to travel to different countries and see different people, because we're often getting people from different countries coming to us.
Yes, we are.
So it's sort of good to go and see some of those countries, whether it's where we sort of originate from or different other countries where our clients come from as well. Except, of course, let's not travel to Saudi Arabia.
It's probably not a good time.
Probably not good. Although they've now got cinemas and they are opening up to the West a bit more. But there was a time where that was not a safe thing to do for psychics. And you probably want to look up Saudi laws under witchcraft, which we come under. So let's not go there.
No,
But when we're sort of looking at, even with psychic development, I get people every now and again, I don't know whether I think you would get this as well sometimes, where, hi, I'm going to have a reading today. I'm at the front of your office right now. And, I'm very psychic. 4 weeks ago, I didn't believe in any of this. And, and it's like, so the lifts are out in my building. Not actually scheduled to be there as of 3 months ago for today, because I thought the list would be out today, which hasn't happened in 14 years that I've been there. I'm booked out somewhere else. And what was the third one? I don't know, but,
Exactly. So it really shows that they actually weren't tuned into the situation. They were of another mind set altogether.
And so when you are sort of going, well, I'm really excited, I'm having these amazing psychic experiences, and they may well be doing that.
It's quite possible.
But patience.
Patience is a virtue.
Patience is a virtue.
And look, with any good psychic, I mean, you would expect to wait, really, to see a good psychic. If there's a psychic, if you're available straight away, how good would you be?
Well, you're not busy.
If you're not busy, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing for a psychic, is it? Not to be busy.
No.
It says volumes.
It's either that or they've had 4 teeth extracted.
Yes, in one day.
One day, I actually had that, and I had another text message, and I'm literally, I've got stuff in here, and I've gotten home after surgery that morning with 4 teeth out, and it's like,
But I expect you to be available to do a reading.
Oh, hi. I just found out I'm psychic. I'd like to speak to you today. No.
How dare you had your teeth extracted today?
I actually, one time, I actually broke my leg on the dance floor, which was hilarious because I'd had a couple of wines, which is, anyway, and I'd forgotten there was a train on the back of my dress. And so I twirled.
Yes.
My body twirled.
Yes.
My foot didn't. So instead of facing this way, the foot was now facing this way.
Yes.
And there was this guy on the dance floor who goes, stand up. And I'm like, have you seen my foot? And So in the hospital, it was really hilarious because there's this guy walking along in a white coat, like the other guys in a white coat, and he comes along and goes, and he's going like this at the end of my bed. This is just not good enough. And he'd go off. and then a nurse would come along and she'd look at my stats and, how are you feeling? And I'm going, in a lot of pain. Pain was code word